Welcome. This is Bat to the Bins. I'm your host, Mr. B. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a comic book collecting channel, and I'm a comic collector. These Sunday videos are intended to showcase the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop. I got a pull list, so I'm pretty familiar with what's happening in comics today. I love digging through the back issue bins, and I love digging through the dollar bins. So, if that sounds interesting to you, and you'd like to join me on my journey back to the bins, why don't you take a look over here, and I'll show you what I picked up. Alright, and like I said, these are the books I picked up this past week at my local comic shop, 204 Comics in Winnipeg, and as per usual, we start in alphabetical order, and that takes us to Marvel Comics, and here we have a solid cover by. This is All-New Venom, issue number 7. That's a David Baldeon spoiler variant. Of course, we got an homage here to the 1987 Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 21. Wedding bells for Peter and Mary Jane. And do what you want with this. I don't know. Is this Mary Jane marrying herself? Is this Venom marrying Mary Jane? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not reading this series, like I said. This is a cover by, I just can't resist a good homage, especially one that's related to Spider-Man, and a classic homage at that. So, nice to see, very cool. Let me know if you know what it means in the comments. Moving over to something I haven't said in a while, the back issue bins. Just a little perusal this week to see what was sitting there. They looked a little full, I had to have a look. Here we got the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, issue number 412. From April of 1996. That's a Mark Bagley cover. He's also doing the interiors. Now, I am trying to collect this run. 300 to 400 is generally what I say, but I am trying to get to not the cover month of June, but the release month of June. So that would be 414, I believe. So I'll be collecting 300 to 414. And why I say that is because that was the year I graduated high school, June of 1996, and so I'm just trying to get this 90s run through my own personal lens as a collector, and I was collecting this run way back in the day, around 1992, 1993, and then I stopped, and now I want to get it back, and I want to get more of what I was collecting, so that's that. Nice to get this, super cool, like that cover. In keeping with Spider-Man, here we have, hot off the shelves, this is the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 5. It's a Luciano Vecchio variant cover, very nice. You know, I love Luciano Vecchio. And like I said, I've been collecting the first 5 issues of this new volume of the Amazing Spider-Man to read it all at once and see what I think, see if I want to collect this, read this, or wait for another ASM run to start. Who knows? But love Vecchio's work, and that's just a great cover, so super cool there. And with every Amazing Spider-Man, there must be a variant cover, and I couldn't say no to a little Peach Momoko. Should get that on a t-shirt. This is the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 7, issue number 5, the Peach Momoko Marvel Rivals variant. I don't know, I haven't read this yet, so is that Spider-Man's costume in the Peach Momoko universe? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out, but very cool. I love Peach Momoko's work, and this is just a very cool design. I saw somebody on Instagram had already cosplayed this, so I thought that was pretty cool too. But yes, very happy. Over to DC, we've got one of my favorites right now, little Batgirl. This is issue number 8. That's the Jessica Fong variant. And I gotta say, that is a striking cover. I love whatever medium is used here to create this just interesting texture to everything. I'm gonna say, potential for cover of the year maybe, folks? What do you think? I think it's great. Love that. Love this book. It's fun. I think it's an ongoing, so who knows? Maybe we'll just keep going with it. So far, so good. In keeping with DC and Batgirl adjacent, here we have my second favorite title on the shelves right now, Birds of Prey, issue number 22. This is the Annie Wu A cover. I just love this team. This is such a fun book. I think you could pick it up just about anywhere as far as I'm concerned, and I've just been enjoying it, and I'm happy to be enjoying it. So cool. Much like the Amazing Spider-Man, with every Birds of Prey, there must be a variant cover. I couldn't say no to this representation from two of my favorites, Black Canary and Batgirl. Here we have Birds of Prey number 22, the Serg Acuna variant. I love that, and they're doing a little bit of Batman 66 karaoke there. I like that too. I mean, come on. It's fun, right? This was supposed to come in last week, I believe. This is Darkwing Duck issue number 4. This is the Mark Bagley variant. Yeah, we just saw some Mark Bagley earlier with that ASM, but here he's doing Darkwing Duck, and I told you he's only doing 5 issues on the cover. And so that's as far as I'm going with this book. I like this book. It's just like the cartoon. So really, I just need to watch the cartoon if I'm really interested in some Darkwing Duck. But it's been fun, and I love these Bagley covers. All right, folks. I told you last week we don't really do ratioed variants here on Bat to the Bins. And that's because it shouldn't be that hard to get a book. But my LCS picks them up once they get some of the books. And I saw this, and I had to try. I'm a cover collector, for crying out loud. Here we have G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue number 317. It's the 1 in 10 Francis Portela camouflage variant featuring one of my favorites, Scarlet. Now, I paid $7.99 for that. This is a $4.99 comic, I think, maybe $5.99. I'm okay with paying the premium. It goes to the comic shop, supports your local comic shop, and you can get a great cover like this. Now, there's one more in this line that I'm interested in getting, and it's a Storm Shadow one. It's a 1 in 10 as well, and I've got it pulled. We'll see, fingers crossed. But very happy to get this. A bit of that negative space, and just one of my favorite characters. Super cool. Have always loved her costume. I have always loved her relationship with Snake Eyes, as well as all of the real elite G.I. Joes. She seems to be able to hang out with Stalker and Duke and everybody else, so I love that about her. A strong character and just a beautiful cover. There is this weird line here, which I'm not too sure about. Is that a defect? Maybe if one of you've got a copy out there, let me know if yours has that as well. I don't know. I'm okay. I got this. Makes me happy. And probably cover of the year, right? You got to throw it to the 1 in 10. Over here, we've got a little, I guess this is a one-shot, really. This is Ghost Rider vs. Galactus number 1, the Juan Ferreira variant. Yeah, I'll take anything that's got something with Galactus on it, and it's just the cherry on top that Ghost Rider is looking as badass as he is with, his chains around Galactus's neck. I mean, does that mean Ghost Rider is that large? Or is Galactus just regular sized here? I'm not entirely sure. But I love that. Very cool. Looking forward to reading this. These have all kinds of potential. It's almost like a what-if situation. If you saw my video my short a couple of weeks back about upcoming covers, here we have one of them. This is an absolutely beautiful cover. This is Poison Ivy, issue number 34, the Tran Again variant. I'm in love with her work. She does absolutely wonderful work. Look at this floral design all over Poison Ivy. This is like a beautiful springtime type cover. I'm here for it. All kinds of potential for cover of the year, no doubt. Absolutely stellar. The pink is just perfect. I'm a sucker for this. This is amazing. Always going to be looking for Tran's work. I think it's just awesome. Moving back over to Marvel, another one of my favorite titles, one of my favorite characters too. This is Spider-Gwen the Ghost Spider, issue number 14. We got the Mark Brooks A cover. Brooks just killing it with these Spider-Gwen covers lately. I love this. I love the way she looks. She's got this like Thanos approach sitting on this throne. Super cool. I've had a lot of fun with this book so far. Getting galactic now as Phoenix has made an appearance. So this is fun reading. This is what comics should be. And because I wanted to, there was a great variant cover for the same book. Here we have issue number 14 again. This is the Bengal variant. Just perfect with all that pink for Ghost Spider. That's why I got it. Or Spider-Gwen, whatever you want to call her. But yeah, I love that. Love the shoes. Very fun. Hopefully she's going to be okay because she's just floating, alone in space. But she seems to be waving and saying hello, so maybe she's fine. I don't know. Yeah, keeping with the Spider family, but over to the Ultimate Universe. Here we have Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 1. This is the Care Andrews variant. Now, you know, we're collecting the regular Ultimate Spider-Man. Had to see what this was about. Like the representation of 3 Spideys here. That's very cool. Who knows? There's some other great covers coming for this particular run as well, so we'll see what happens. We'll dig into this eventually, but as per usual, the backlog of comic books to be read is very large. This should be about the end of July when I get there. Alright, and something else I was supposed to get a couple of weeks ago. Here we've got Vampirella, yes, over in the independent section of your local comic shop. Vampirella number 2, a beautiful Jenny Frison variant. Issue 1 was a great Mark Spears variant. All of this red on this Frison variant. These Vampirella covers, if nothing else, are going to be worth getting. I think this is cover of the year potential all day long. That red kills me. I love it. Beautiful. You can't go wrong with Jenny Frison's work, right? Of course not. Awesome. And then I got this from the bin adjacent to the back issue bins where all of these trades and stuff are $5. This is the Marvel Masterworks, The Fantastic Four, 1961, 1962, European trade covering issues 1 to 9 of Fantastic Four. Of course, the gold, the glory of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. I'm just a sucker for this crew. I love a good origin story. I love going to the basics, going to the roots, and here we are, the first 9 issues. Of course, we're also getting these in the floppies that are coming out every month, but I can't say no to this. $5? Come on. Beautiful stuff. Looking forward to just leafing through that. Well, there you have it, folks. How about we get back to the real world, shall we? Well, it's a great stack of books. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? It really helps to build the channel, and I'd love to develop a community of people who just really love comics. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week, and until then, remember, comics are good.